Mine was what you might call a divine childhood. My father, full of honor and integrity, had previously been employed by the government. Having worked hard for many years, he retired upon marrying my mother. They enjoyed a life of leisurely travel until well into my childhood. I was their plaything and their idol, and something better, their child, the innocent and helpless creature bestowed on them by heaven, whom to bring up to good, and whose future lot it was in their hands to direct happiness or misery, according as they fulfilled their duties towards me. With this deep consciousness of what they owed towards the being to which they had given life, added to the active spirit of tenderness that animated both, it may be imagined that while during every hour of my infant life I received a lesson of patience, of charity, and of self-control, I was so guided by a silken cord that all seemed but one train of enjoyment to me. In this manner I passed my early years, an only child, until my parents happened upon a being heaven sent, who seemed to shed radiance from her looks. They frequently engaged in various acts of charity towards the less fortunate, and it was in this practice that my dear Elizabeth was revealed to them.
If you don't mind my asking, is that other little, is she yours?
No, her mother died at childbirth, and her father was sent to war, and we don't know if he's dead or is he captured. So I've been raising her ever since.
Oh, I see. I don't mean to be rude or overstep my bounds, but isn't it a little busy around here with your hands full with your own children?
When we got her, my oldest was a baby, and then I've recently got more children, so things have been really tight around here and busy.
Well, my husband and I, we've been longing for a daughter, and if it would be okay, we would love to take her in.
I've had her since she was just a baby, and I miss her dearly, but she deserves better than we can provide. I'll talk to my priest about it.
Great, thank you so much. I'll give you time to think about it, and I'll be back.
Thank you. Come in.
Hi.
Hi, sweetie, can you go outside and play for a little bit?
Yes, Mother.
Thank you.
So, did you have a chance to think about it and talk it over?
Yes, me and my husband talked to the priest, and we've decided that it would be best for her if she did one with you.
Thank you so much. Bless your heart. We'll take great care of her.
But we need an extra day to say our goodbyes to her.
I understand. I'll be back. Thank you so much. I have a pretty present for my Victor. Tomorrow he shall have it.
I, with childish seriousness, interpreted her words literally, and looked upon Elizabeth as mine to protect, love, and cherish.
This is Elizabeth.
As I grew, so grew with me a passionate, eager desire to learn the secrets of heaven and earth, from the outward substance of things to the inner spirit of nature and the mysterious soul of man. Meanwhile, my best mate Henry was captivated with the moral relations of things, aspiring towards chivalry and adventure. The saintly soul of Elizabeth shone like a shrine-dedicated lamp in our peaceful home. Her sympathy was ours, her smile, her soft voice, the sweet glance of her celestial eyes were ever there to bless and animate us. She was the living spirit of love to soften and attract. I might have become sullen in my study, rough through the ardor of my nature, but that she was there to subdue me to a semblance of her own gentleness. Years passed, and I prepared to depart for the university at Ingolstadt, when my dear Elizabeth caught the scarlet fever. Despite the many arguments we made for fear of her safety, my mother insisted upon attending to her sickbed. Elizabeth was saved, but on the third day my mother sickened.
My firmest hope for future happiness is based on the prospect of your union. This expectation will now be the consolation of your father. Elizabeth, my love, you must supply my place to my younger children. I regret that I am taken from you. And happy and beloved as I have been, is it not hard to quit you all? These are not thoughts befitting me. I will endeavor to resign myself cheerfully to death. I will indulge a hope of meeting you in another world.
It was at the university that I was properly introduced to natural philosophy, particularly chemistry, and these became my sole occupation. For 2 years I engaged relentlessly in the pursuit of some discoveries which I hoped to make. Whence, I often asked myself, did the principle of life proceed?
I extensively studied the science of human anatomy, but this was not sufficient. I must also observe the natural decay and corruption of the human body. I saw how the fine form of man was degraded and wasted. I beheld the corruption of death succeed to the blooming cheek of life. I saw how the worm inherited the wonders of the eye and the brain. I paused, examining and analyzing all the minutiae as exemplified in the change from life to death, and death to life. When suddenly, out of the midst of the darkness, a light broke in upon me. A light so brilliant and wondrous, yet so simple. I was surprised that among so many men of genius who had directed their inquiries towards this same science, that I alone should be reserved to discover such an astonishing secret. No one can conceive the variety of feelings which bore me onwards like a hurricane in the enthusiasm of my first success. Life and death appeared to me ideal bounds which I should first break through and then pour a torrent of light into our dark world. A new species would bless me as its creator. Many happy and excellent natures would owe their being to me. No father could claim the gratitude of his child so completely as I should deserve theirs. Pursuing these reflections, I thought that if I could bestow animation on some lifeless matter, I might in process of time, although I now found it impossible, renew life where death had apparently devoted the body to corruption. I was engaged thus, heart and soul in one pursuit. It was a dreary night in November that I finally beheld the accomplishment of my toils. With an anxiety that almost amounted to agony, I collected the instruments of life around me, that I might infuse a spark of being into the thing that lay at my feet.
Convince my father to let me join you at the university. It's so good to see you.
It is my greatest delight to see you, Henry. But tell me, how did you leave my family?
They're doing very well. They're doing well.
It's so good to see you.
And
You have You have no idea.
How are you? You look distressed.
Come. Let us catch up. Here, Henry, sit.
Thank you. What a nice place you have.
Oh, thank you. It's so good. So good to see you. You don't even know. It's just
My
amazing.
dear Victor, what for God's sake is the matter?
Oh, don't ask me. Don't ask me how he can tell. Save me! Save me! Victor! Victor! No. He's alive. No.
Victor! Victor, wake up! Victor, wake up! It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. It's okay. You're okay.
It's horrible. So horrible.
It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. It's okay. It's okay.
My dearest Henry, you've been so kind to me. All these winter months, instead of studying at school like you came here to do, you've been caring for me. How can I ever repay you?
You can repay me entirely by getting well. But since you're in good spirits, can I ask you one thing? That you write to your family. They're worried about you.
Yes, of course. Oh, they must be so worried.
I'm delighted to hear that. You have one letter from your cousin. It's been here for a few days.
Of course. Oh, Elizabeth. I must write to her at once. Give me some paper. A letter. It's from my father.
Oh, read it immediately.
Oh, it's been so long. So good to hear from him.
Victor, what's wrong? What's the matter? I'm so sorry. What can I do?
I must return home. Come with me to order the horses.
Immediately.
Victor! I wish you would have been here sooner. If you'd been here sooner, you would have found us happy. Poor Elizabeth blamed herself ever since the murderer has been discovered.
Great God, the murderer has been discovered? But who would attempt to pursue him? I myself saw him last night, but...
What are you talking about? It's our cousin Justine who murdered him.
Our cousin Justine?
Ernest, who are you talking to?
Elizabeth! Victor! What is this about Justine?
No one believed it at first, but the evidence leaves no hope for doubt. She will be tried today, and you will hear all.
You are mistaken. I know the murderer. Justine, poor good Justine, is innocent.
What are you saying?
Justine is innocent, and that shall be proven.
Oh, I hope so.
I do not fear death. God knows I'm innocent. It gives me courage. Good cousin, don't you believe I'm innocent?
No, Justine. He's more convinced of your innocence than I was.
I truly thank him. My innocence were acknowledged, and I feel like I can die at peace.
I wish I were there to die with you. I can live no longer in this world of misery.
Farewell, my dearest Elizabeth, my beloved and only friend. May heaven bless and keep you. Be happy and make others so.
Devil, you dare approach me!
You are my creator. You owe me one.
Come on then, that I may extinguish the spark of life that I so negligently bestowed.
Be calm. Hear me.
Begone! I will not hear you!
How can I convince you? My own creator abandoned me. Have I suffered enough?
Begone! Relieve me from your detested sight!
Don't look at me. Just listen.
It is very hard for me to remember my first days. It is foggy, for sometimes my senses were confused. It was early in the morning, and I was cold and hungry. I came across a small structure like nothing I had ever seen. The door was open, so I stepped inside. There was a man inside. He screamed when he looked at me, and he ran as fast as he could go. I seen his breakfast on the table. I ate it and fell asleep in front of the warm fire. When I woke up, I left the hut and again wandered the countryside. In the evening, I discovered a whole group of huts. I was curious and entered one of the huts, but was greeted by screaming and chased away. The whole village reacted to the screams. Some took one look and ran. Others attacked me, throwing stones and other objects. I was afraid and ran away.
This became my home. I could see into the cottage through some cracks. I watched the family inside and learned many things from them. I longed to be a part of this loving family. The old man was blind, and I worked up the courage to approach him alone. I hoped that he could accept me and be able to convince the others to see past my physical deformity.
Perhaps I could help you convince them.
Excellent, man. Thank you.
Tell me, what are the names of these friends you seek?
Now is the time! Please help me! You're the friends and family I seek.
Good God, man, who are you?
Get away! Get away!
a small shed leaning against the side of a college and ducked in there to hide. My hopes of belonging in this world were crushed. I was doomed to be alone. No laughter, no love. Where was I to go? What was I to do? I thought of you and the papers I had found, your coat, and began my journey to your town. After many days of travel, I awoke to see a little boy nearby. I thought maybe an innocent child could be raised to accept me. He screamed. I said I would not hurt him. He cried, "Hideous monster, let me go. My papa, Mr. Frankenstein, will punish you." I realized that he belonged to you and that his death would bring you pain, so I held his throat and squeezed. Now you are here, and I demand you to fix this. You must create a woman for me.
I refuse it! Be gone!
You owe me at least this. I promise that if you do, mankind will never hear from us again.
How can I trust you? No! I will not do this!
Do not play with me. If this is not done, I will swear revenge on all mankind.
I consent to your demand. If you swear to quit the neighborhood of man.
I swear, if you grant me this, I will disappear. Ha ha ha.
No!
I will be with you on your wedding night.
What is it that agitates you, my dear Victor?
Peace. Peace, my love. This night. All will be safe. But this night is dreadful. Very dreadful.
Victor. Victor, dear, come to bed.
Soon, my love. You rest. I shall join you. I shall join you soon. Oh, my Elizabeth!